Welcome everybody to the Sniff It 3 channel. My name is Disco Ferrari. I'm going to be talking about Resident Evil here, one of my favorite HD remakes, if not favorite game. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to the intro sequence, and I'll see you in a bit.
Alpha Team is flying around the forest zone, situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we are searching for the helicopter of our compatriots, Bravo Team, who disappeared during the middle of their mission.
Found it yet?
No, not yet, Brad. Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. The Bravo Team was sent in to investigate, but we lost contact.
Look, Chris.
Bravo Team's helicopter was a derelict. Save for the remaining body of Kevin. We continued our search for the other members, and it turned into a nightmare.
Hey! Brad! Where the hell's he going?
Chris, this way! Damn it! Make for that mansion!
There are only 3 STARS members left now. Captain Wesker, Barry, and myself. We don't know where Chris is.
What is this place?
Not quite your ordinary house, that's for sure.
Hey, Wesker, where's Chris?
Jill, no! You don't want to go back out there.
But we've got to find...
What was that?
Chris?
No.
Jill, go and investigate.
I'm going with her. Chris and I go back a long way.
Alright. You two go. I'll secure this area.
Stay sharp.
Alright, that was the intro sequence for Resident Evil. This game originally came out in 1996. And it was for the original PlayStation. The graphics were pretty rough. I have to say that this HD remake is most of the reason why I could even play this game. I took a screenshot of the original cover here. That's according to Wikipedia. And a little bit later, we'll compare some screenshots of the original game to the HD remake. But especially for the Xbox One, I originally played it on the GameCube. Loved it so much. I decided I have to have this for the Xbox One as well. Most people would say that it was an unnecessary release for the Xbox One, which partly I understand because it was just remade for the GameCube. But then again, the GameCube didn't even have HDMI output. So this is an obvious better 60 frames a second. The textures weren't updated that much, but it's still if you look at the face there on the alien or on the zombie, it definitely gives the impression of a lot of tension and a lot of suspense here.
Barry!
What is it?
Here's another
It's a monster!
comparison on what the original PlayStation looked like and what the HD remake looks like, obviously.
What the hell is this thing?
I found Kenneth killed by this thing. Let's report this to Wesker.
So Wesker's her boss. She's going to see how her boss is doing, but the zombie escaped. They thought they killed it. Oh no.
Wesker! Jill, help me look for him. Let's not leave this hall.
Good idea.
Part of the reason why I like this game so much is because it's a really unique setting. It's very enclosed, and I think they did that on purpose for the PlayStation 1. It's an enclosed setting, limited set of characters, dark and mysterious, as well as sort of having an expansive feeling with being inside the mansion, because the mansion is so huge. It has so many hallways, so many locked doors, that kind of stuff. So
There's not much we can do. We can search for him separately. I'll investigate the dining room again.
Okay, then. I'll try the door on the other side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could easily get lost. Let's start from the first floor.
Okay.
Oh, I almost forgot. It's a lockpick. You'd make better use of it.
Thanks. I may need it.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall. Got it?
Okay.
something that's cool about the HD remake, I like it because it does keep in line with the original game in a lot of ways. Opening and closing doors to sort of set the opening and closing doors is in lieu of cutscene or in lieu of loading sequences. So if you notice, there's no loading screens at all through this whole thing, and it's just the doors opening and closing that create it creates suspense while not having to bog you down with load times. And what's nice is each room of the mansion is a small and contained space, so the load times, especially for the original game, were cut down significantly because of that. They're small spaces. And for a horror game like this, it really serves a pretty cool suspense of being in an enclosed space and also having that not knowing what's around the next corner. As you can see, like going up the stairs and stuff right here, most of the time the camera's on her. And if you think of traditional games, the way that they're set up, it's usually a third-person isometric or a first-person view. Where right here, we couldn't even see the guy except for that mirror. But because we saw the mirror, we could see that guy. Now, in most cases, you can't see what's around the next corner. You rely on pointing your gun, and it'll automatically train on the guy if there is anybody to shoot. And that's excellent. I like the fact that you don't know what's around the next corner. I like that suspense element. And not saying that I wish more games would do it now, but I wish more games would incorporate mechanics like that to build suspense, because games are only as suspenseful, and just like the original movie Alien, it was so scary because you couldn't see the alien. If you saw the alien on every shot, you'd be sick of the alien by the end of the movie. This is sort of the same way. You don't get a good look at the zombies until they're sort of on top of you. And so if you see these staircases, the sequences going in and out of doors, sometimes whenever you go out the door, like this time, it's a looking up at you. You can't almost see where you're going next. And I think, especially maybe for the younger generation, that could be frustrating. But it's that element of suspense that I really like in a game like this. It'd be different if it was an accident, like some of the camera angles and stuff were just bad, but because they're deliberate, because they're specifically placed in an order, that creates just like a composition. It's almost like an art piece. So that's really cool in my book. Heading down here, oh man, see that casket from the ceiling? Oh. First time I played this game, I was just in awe of how unique the design of the entire world was, and not having played the first game, I didn't know how frustrating this was. I think actually if I played the original game, I wouldn't have liked this game at all. I don't think I would have even played it. But because I played it on the GameCube, I got the updated graphics. The camera angles maybe were a little bit more polished. Everything was a little bit more deliberate. And the controls are relatively the same. Then I think it makes for a good game overall. Now, those of you who aren't familiar with the controls, they're what are called tank controls. Meaning if you push forward and you're facing forward, you will go forward. If you push back, it'll go back from where you're facing rather than relative to the camera angles. Now, in the HD remake here, there is an option to have relative directional controls, but I find those really hindering because the camera angles change so much that if you go forward according to what the camera is facing at the time, it'll change from second to second to second. You'll never know where you're doing. And so I think that's, again, maybe a design choice most people don't like, but I feel it's the most efficient design choice for this game and what they're doing here. Now, of course, we just grabbed the dog whistle, got the lighter. Now, there's two main characters in this. There's Chris and Jill. Jill being my definite favorite character. She's definitely the advantage because she has the lock picking as the default thing that she's always carrying. And Chris has the lighter. And I feel the lockpick is way more valuable. And I don't know if you caught it whenever I was starting the game, but I'm playing it on easy mode, mostly because this isn't a test of skill more than just showing you the game, showing you how pretty it is, and how cool it is. So we can get through this thing relatively quickly. The game should be only about 4 or 5 hours long if you're if you're pretty good at it. I haven't played it in a while, but I do think I'm able to get through it fairly quickly. Now what I'm doing here is I forgot to fill up my kerosene. Whenever you kill the zombies here specifically, you have to burn the bodies, otherwise they come back as these really fast and brutal monsters. So in some cases, if you're doing a speed run on this game, I would say that most zombies it would be good not to kill. Because then they don't come back in these more extreme forms that will hurt you. So it's kind of funny and counterintuitive to not kill zombies, but in this run, I just killed them and I'm going to burn the bodies here. In many ways, this is a resource management game. You only have a certain number of slots. You only have... and you can only go through this door a certain number of times. That's right next to the chest. And you don't know which room leads to where. Again, right here is a good example. That zombie was right around the corner, and you had no idea until you get right there. Come on, cat. Get out of here. And that's pretty cool too. That you never know if they're going to get back up again. Really, I didn't need to come into this room, but I like the cutscenes that they do in this version. And I like this one specifically because it doesn't take any health away from you, and you can stomp the zombie. And this is a little character thing. I mean, if you put yourself in her situation, it's pretty understandable why she reacts that way, for sure. Now, in this door specifically, we can go through it this way. When we try to go back through it, there's only a certain number of times that we can go back through before the doorknob falls off. So, about to burn this body here. I think this is another thing that kind of carries over from the PS1 version that maybe they could have cleaned up on the GameCube a little bit. Even though you're over the body, there's still certain values for success and failure when it comes to using items and stuff that could be cleaned up a little bit. But I think it's small potatoes when you're talking about the entire game. This game's a lot about looking through the environment, scanning it, I think on the PS1 version, it was a lot easier to see items on tables, and there were probably something with the PS1 that they did quite often is they had, especially with Final Fantasy VII, it was the most glaring. They had just backdrops 2D and then 3D characters on top of the 2D environments. So it was really easy to pick out what's a character and what's an actual background. Because of the higher graphics and fidelity here, it's a little bit easier. It's a little bit harder to tell what's items and what aren't. So sometimes you see things glowing or actually shining if they're key items. So. Because we burned the body, it's no longer there. I sort of forgot my way when I was doing this, so I apologize for the slight delay here. I played this game a lot, so I, for the most part, know where to go next and that kind of thing, the order of things. But sometimes it's easy to get confused, especially if you look at the map and you look at this door is locked, this one's not. This one, there's only one way into this area, but you can go to this area a different way. It's really easy to get turned around and a little bit confused. Now there's a zombie here. I've decided not to kill him for the time being. On harder versions of the game, I don't kill him at all. I just try to, because it's easy, because it's a big circle there, it's easy to lure him to the one side, not waste the ammo. And again, if you look here, I face towards the wall and then press the aim button, and she'll automatically tell you if there's somebody there. And see, because she faced that way, you can tell the enemy is still alive. Another one's coming up the stairs. Now these guys definitely, and see, because I'm facing the wall there, I know that they're not alive anymore. But these guys will come back to kill me. Their bodies will be there, so I need to burn the bodies if I get an opportunity. Now this room is useful because of the broken shotgun. Whenever you're going into a specific area, you need to replace a good shotgun with a broken shotgun so that the room doesn't collapse on you. I actually don't end up doing the regular shotgun on this because we get access to an assault shotgun. If you rescue this one character bitten by a snake early enough, you get his shotgun when he comes to save you. So that'll be here in a little bit. But either way, I refilled my kerosene canister and I'm able to burn some of the bodies up here. Nope, there's another one right there. Come on. Part of the reason why I'm so enamored with this series as well is they're so good at setting moods. Like I said before, with the camera angles, with the opening and closing of doors and stuff. But the the safe room music, it's calming and yet lets you know that the danger's not over, but it's over for right now, I guess. You know, it's still mostly in a minor key, but it's sort of droning and almost ominous in a way. So we're coming out to the courtyard here, and we need to blow the dog whistle so that we can get the dog collar and progress with the mission. A lot of these puzzles in this game are really kind of backdoor. Here it comes. Oh boy. Those defense weapons really help. Come on. Something fairly unique to this game too is there's no real health bar per se. You see that one body still there. I think I'm out of kerosene, so I probably just pass him by, which isn't a great idea, but it's what I did. But there's no such thing as a health bar. It's either good or fair, the green, caution, or danger. So you don't have a great idea how much health you have at any given point in time. There he is. Oh, every once in a while they give you a freebie. You're either supposed to destroy the head or burn the body. And every once in a while you'll shoot and it'll destroy the head. So we won't need to worry about burning his body in the future. This is another puzzle where we can't reach the blue thing. In reality, you can just maybe jump up on it or get a chair or something to grab the blue diamond. But in this version, we have to push it off the roof. Clearly, they're not too worried about destruction of property. But then again, the owners of the mansion probably don't mind because there's zombies in their house. So how much could they care about their personal property? Now, this is an iconic room from the first game. There are some rooms that have changed from the original game, but this is one that stays the same. There's a map in that jug. But if you look here, you'll see what it looked like back in the PS1 version compared to this version. And you can see that the graphics are way different. And they did such a good job remaking this game. That this is what I think the standard should be for all remastered or really remade games. I guess most games these days are just remastering. They're using existing assets and adding textures to those assets. Where this game was just a complete remake. They built it all again from the ground up and did just such a fantastic job. You probably didn't catch it there, but there's just a little window crack there. And that is such an iconic thing for this game. You're supposed to go down the hallway for the first time, and just your nerves are so on edge from the environment and the dogs just attacking you and not knowing which doors are locked and or not. And just this little crack just freaks you out and puts you on edge again. And it's really It's such a good game. This game just creates an environment that's just so rich. It's fantastic. Out here too, that's another example of a great environment. There's the dogs right outside, and they're running. They're trying to get you. You're freaking out because you don't know who's going to get you, who's not. Can they get over the fence? Is it inside the fence? Let's see, this turns into a fake key, and we'll need that later. We see the dog right there, and occasionally, if they hear you right, they'll run at you. You don't know if it's inside or outside. It's such a good moment of suspense. See, right now, if you look at my inventory, I don't have a free slot. So I actually can't get that shotgun. Even though I have the right stuff, I have the fake shotgun and I could replace it with a good shotgun. I don't have enough empty slots in my inventory to make that happen. So I decided to go back to the box, item box. But then also I realized that I'm going to get that assault shotgun anyway. It's probably not worth my time to go get it. And at this point, there's only a certain number of times that you can go through that door before the handle falls off in that direction. It's a lot of things to deal with in this game. Between the inventory management and the directions in which you can go in and out of doors, and burning bodies, and it's just a wonderful game that just knows how to dial up the suspense. I actually kind of forget where we're at right now. Oh, yeah, we just got the key. So we need to replace the key, the fake key with a real key. So we're going to go do that here. And again, because I shot this one in the head, he won't reappear. We're good to go. Now, this is my second time going through this room. See, I just passed over that body again. He might rise up on me. I'll have to take that chance, though. It looks like he's not a... whenever they're red, that's when you got to watch out. So, that guy probably is going to rise up. Yep, there he goes. Oh, we're pretty lucky to get around him there. Now, the first time I played this game, it was definitely freaking me out whenever I took this for the first time. Yeah, the walls enclosed. I died quite a few times before I figured out, oh yeah, I can put the key back, and more specifically, you can put the fake key back. So now you have a key to progress in the story, and no harm, no foul. Now that red guy is still around the corner. He's just not exactly where he was before. Yep, there he is. That was a mistake. Now, occasionally in this game, they'll have certain events that trigger that door that was at the top of the stairs there that I'd used the lockpick on. I didn't kill the dog in the room. Now, that might be a little bit of a mistake from the game, but it translated that into I still left an enemy out there, and therefore zombies coming through the door. Now, that's not obviously accurate, but they're just little kind of nice event things that happen like that whenever you're not careful, or it kind of punishes you for taking the easy way out. Then if you look right there, there's a zombie on the other side of the glass. They do such a good job constructing this world. Now this is a puzzle where you have to put just basically weed killer in this, and then there's a flesh-eating plant that stops you from getting one of the masks. So kill the plant, get the mask. If you do it wrong, though, you kill all the herbs there on the side. Because this is easy mode, we obviously don't need any of those herbs. So. And we're good to go. And here they come. But because we don't need anything, and that door's unlocked, but really there's no reason to go in it. There's 2 zombies, but a clip of ammo. So you almost use the clip of ammo getting past the zombies. So there's really no reason to go in that door. Alright, so we killed that guy. It's definitely good to burn this guy because we come through this hallway so many times that we'll definitely turn him red. In some of the easier places to avoid, we can go through those rooms and not worry about it too much. But also coming down here, that this room would be more useful at this point if we didn't have the lockpick already with Jill. If we were Chris, we would need to go down there. But since we're with Jill, everything's good to go. Now this was a mistake. I shouldn't have came into this room already. Oops, I should probably cut that out. Anyway. Yeah, we didn't really need to go into that room yet. Should have got... We need half of the script for the Moonlight Sonata, and then at least one of the badges. But you see how we didn't kill the enemies in the other room, and now that door is fluttering. It's just such a nice... it definitely gives you the environment of... I really am living in this world. It's not just a video game that everything is static and everything's not linked. It's really cool. figure I'll save now because I have a bad habit of not saving in this game. And at certain points, especially on easy mode, it's not easy to die. But whenever you do die, it's just such a big deal that I hate to go back and retrace my steps because then you lose the order. And it's just kind of a mess. So... Now that we got this key, we can save our little buddy from his snake bite.
Richard! What happened? You're wounded.
This whole place is a killing zone. There are monsters.
What did this to you?
A big snake. And it had to be poisonous.
Poisonous? Richard, hold on.
Bring me serum. I saw some, but didn't bring any.
I'll go and get it, okay? You're gonna make it.
Thanks.
Now, whenever it comes to saving Richard, you do have a limited amount of time. If you don't go right there and right back, he will die. Or not necessarily die, he will not come and save you when you're finding the snake. So, so it definitely helps you to go get the serum right away. Now, if you don't know where it is, it's harder to do that. But fortunately, I've played this game enough where it's not a big deal. That's the guy that came through the that door right there. So. Got to get rid of some stuff so I can handle the serum. Now, if I can take two or not. I should have taken two so that I had one for whenever I fought the snake. But I didn't, and that was foolish. I am actually kind of lucky that guy didn't get me. Only because it slows you down. Obviously, this is on easy mode, so it wouldn't have killed me or anything, but in the efforts for time efficiency, it's always nice to avoid that stuff when possible. And it looks like we'll get him in enough time frame, so he should be fine.
Here, Richard. I'm gonna give you a shot. Hang in there.
Jill. Here's my
It looks like his arm's way more messed up than just a shot would take care of, but, you know, whatever.
Does it ever not hurt?
Is he talking about the shot or his arm? Oh, yep, he's okay. We got to him in time. Sometimes whenever you get to him in time, but he's not going to wake up and help you. He'll just sit there and it'll say that he's sleeping. Don't disturb him or whatever. Which you never hear from him the rest of the game, so he should be dead. And I love this camera angle where you just have no idea. It's a long hallway. That zombie's right there. You can't see him at all. It's just so awesome. Yeah, in this room you need lighter because it's too dark. And there's a guy right on the other side of that door, so I try to point at him. Doesn't work, but in harder modes, I kind of just dance around the table with him. But, you know. That guy could rise up, but again, this is a hallway. We're only going to come out one more time, so really not a big deal at all. Something I've always enjoyed about this game, and it's really cool, is that it just has a really strong female character. And not just that it's a female character per se, but she's not sexy. And it's weird that I sort of feel like, or from a personal standpoint, I think she's really sexy. I think she's, you know, a professional woman. She's a badass. She can kill zombies. She's not afraid. You know, there is a human side to her. She is fearful at certain things, but you know, she just looks good and kicks some ass. So she's not. In certain superhero movies or whatever, they just have them in basically a thong and a bra, and they're fighting crime that way. No, she's dressed as a professional person with her holster and her utility belt, and you know, she just looks awesome. And she's definitely my favorite character in the whole Resident Evil series. A lot of people like Leon. He's okay. I like his irreverent sense of humor. But specifically in this game, this is my favorite Jill. Now, it is kind of sad that in the third Resident Evil 3, she's like in a tube top. and it really just kind of takes me out of it in a big way. I couldn't even get into that game because for one, the graphics weren't updated at all. So it's still that original terrible animations and polygonal forms and stuff. But also it's that really bad Jill. I've really liked what they've done with her character here, and I wish they would have stuck with it a little bit better. I just love that song. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, that's Moonlight Sonata, Beethoven. It's just such a powerful song. And to integrate it into this game that has such a sort of dark and ominous presence about it, and to have that dark and mysterious tune with it, it complements this game so well. And the people who did this game should really get props for that, because that is just amazing. Now we got to get this fake crest on the wall so we can get the golden crest in that room that we just unlocked. I should have grabbed it before, but I didn't. There's that door still fluttering. And the door closes because we took the gold one. We gotta replace it with the fake one. Some of the puzzles in this game are a little tedious, but, whatever. Now, there's something there. I'm just kind of blowing through it because I realize some of you aren't interested in the story. But if you're playing this game, there's a huge arc where Trevor and his wife and daughter are in the mansion here. Trevor's a scientist working for Umbrella. He's developing the T-virus. His wife and daughter get captured and experimented on. And it's really, I think, a heart-wrenching story that just really adds to the mood, adds to the character of this. It's just so much more than just a horror game or an action game or a puzzle game. It blends all of these worlds so well together. And I know I just feel like I'm constantly praising this game, but it's such a good game. Now, this puzzle specifically, the clock needs to match the picture on the wall. Is basically it. Long sword through the head, short sword through the body. And then we get the key. It's good for only one door. Kind of frustrating. I do like how the puzzles kind of build on each other in this game. I don't like how there's a lot of, I guess specifically in MMOs these days, there's a lot of grinding. There's a lot of doing the same things over and over and over to get better and better to get to other things. I guess the tedium in some of these puzzles could be considered grinding in a way, just to stretch it out a little bit. But I think it's a little different because they just throw a bunch of different interactive objects at you, and you're supposed to try to say, okay, well, I have this cube here. How does that fit with this placard and this key and how does it all fit together? And I think they do that well. All right, Richard. It's almost your time. Use the key once. That is one big snake.
Payback time.
And because we saved Richard, there he is. Ouch.
Thanks.
Richard!
Sorry, Richard. He's literally eaten by the snake. That's a pretty fast digestive cycle there. I try to shoot his tail mostly because he's tends to bite you if you shoot his head, so. Now we have the assault shotgun. I think it does a little bit more damage, but the biggest difference is it can hold 10 rather than just 6 shells. Now we're still poisoned, but at least our health is all the way back up. Get the death mask.
Oh, am I poisoned? I need serum.
For those players that might not have figured it out. If you saw that the zombie wasn't on the floor, I think he did turn into a red feral zombie, but I think they just ignored it basically. And we won't go back into that room, so it's not a big deal. Does get a little tedious going down the same hallways over and over, but take it good with the bad, I guess. I forgot about the batteries. And that killed him. That guy should be up already. I've gone across his body like 3 times now. Oh well. All right. Well, since we just beat the snake, I think it's probably a good time to pause and take a break. I try to split these videos into about an hour a piece. Some a little bit more, some a little bit less. So it's about 4 hour game. It should be 4 parts. So just gonna save the game here, and I'll catch you guys next episode.